and flowers, cold and solid glass.
All right, everybody. Welcome to what I'm calling a very special episode of Another Bourbon Show. We're not really celebrating anything, but we should be with what we're drinking tonight. Because tonight we are going to be doing a blind tasting of four, what I think could be considered all four are kind of unicorns, right? There's only one true unicorn that you really never even see, but the other three are just so damn hard to come by. And we're going to figure out whether they should be hard to come by and whether or not they are worth the price that you're paying for what you're getting. So tonight we're going to be doing a four-way blind test. And that's going to be between kosher wheat, Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat, Weller Antique 107, Weller Full Proof, and Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve 15. Now, the reason we're doing these four blind is because there's a huge price discrepancy between all four of these, and they're kind of neat because they all have the same mash bill. The exact same mash bill is used for all four of them. Once the mash is created, it goes into a barrel, and when they put that distillate into that barrel, nobody knows whether when that barrel gets dumped, if it's going to end up going into a kosher wheat bottle, a Weller 107, a Weller Full Proof, a Pappy Van Winkle 15, Weller 12, Van Winkle 12 year, or a Van Winkle Special Reserve. They don't know until it comes out of that barrel. They taste it. That's when they figure out which bottle it's going to go into. So it's kind of neat. I want to go over the mash bill real quick. As far as we know, the best we can come up with is that the mash bill for all four of these is 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. Can't lock that in, but it's somewhere in that range because Buffalo Trace is real stingy with sharing what that is. Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat is a 94 proof wheated whiskey. It retails for about $40. Very hard to find. Weller Antique 107 is 107 proof. It's supposed to have a SRP around $50. Weller Full Proof is 114 proof and has an SRP in the vicinity of $50, but that's almost impossible to find Weller Full Proof at 50. It's almost impossible to find it at 150, but it is supposed to have an SRP of 50. And then Pappy Van Winkle 15 has a 107. It's bottled at 107 proof, has an SRP of 149, and finding that at 149 is next to impossible.
Schnucks, locally, Schnucks, great at it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say that kosher wheat, Weller 107, and Pappy Van Winkle, I did acquire all three of those at SRP from Bobby's locations. I only really needed the connection in my relationship with Bobby for the Pappy Van Winkle. The other two I could have acquired off of the shelf at that SRP. The Weller Full Proof, this is not the barrel pick that Ryan was talking about when he was on the show, but this bottle did come from Ryan at Dean's in Collinsville, and it was SRP as well. You can see that this is an unopened bottle, but that's because I just finished, I dumped the empty bottle into my current glass. So here's my backup bottle, and it's sitting here.
Just a casual flex that Dan has a backup bottle of Weller Full Proof.
Well, I mean, I got one up there too. So
a backup to the backup, assistant to the regional backup.
So, Steven, let's do some label ratings quickly since we're doing four of them. And you've already done that.
So for the well, I can do this real quick because for Weller Foolproof and Antique 107, those are both nines. Those are both
Okay.
great. Like I said, Antique 107, phenomenal label. I've rated it before.
Yeah.
Foolproof, I go back and forth. I think I like the Foolproof coloration a little bit better,
Yeah.
but I just love them as a whole, both nines. For
Uh-huh.
the Buffalo Trace Kosher, I think this is a really nice label. I think it kind of looks like there's some sort of like there's more formality to it for some reason. It's a very I think the top part looks amazing, but it's almost like something you find in the gift shop at Buffalo Trace in a bad way to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's
Okay.
above average. I think it's decent, but there's just something that lacks a little bit of character there. It's almost like it's in a tasting room or something like that, and you're allowed to take one home.
Hmm.
That's my thoughts
Okay.
on it.
Now, asking this honestly, would it improve things if it had like a Star of David on it?
I think
I'm
it
asking
could.
honestly.
I think it
I'm
could.
asking honestly.
I think it could. I think it could. It would
That
give
would
it
be
some more
cool.
character. I think it should have the Star of David in the same way that Southern Comfort should have more New Orleans flair. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's what sets you apart. So
So I mean, I was asking that honestly because I mean, it's kosher. It's kosher for a reason, right? It's not kosher for me. I'm drinking it because I want to drink it, but it's not kosher for me. It
I
just
I think the best part of the label is actually where it says Buffalo Trace Distillery. That's beautiful, and I know they put that on a lot of different products you can buy at the gift shop.
yeah.
But something about the buffalo on that particular bottle and its outline kind of makes it look like a buffalo emoji more than the actual buffalo.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of quality to it that maybe the eyes or something, the face isn't quite right. But
Okay.
overall, I think it's nice looking.
Okay. And then we've got this one right here. Pappy
products
Van
are
Winkle
so-
15.
You know, I got some crap because on the E.H. Taylor, I don't like seeing Colonel E.H. Taylor. I don't like seeing Pappy Van Winkle, but I know that it has legacy behind it, right? I totally
Yeah.
get that. And I like the family reserve aesthetic to it. I like that it looks like a bottle that just came out of the attic that you just
Yeah.
found. It comes to you looking like an old dusty already.
Mhm.
And in that way, I think it fits just like Bullet, which I rated higher than I think some people expected. So I'm giving the Pappy an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not typically
right.
what I like in a label, but I think it fits so much. I think that whenever you see it, you know you've got something there. It looks like a family secret bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, I think you're dead on about that. That like, whether you like the label or not, really doesn't matter on this one because, like you said, when you see that label, you could, if you walk into a store and you know nothing about bourbon, you know that there's something special about that bottle, and I think that speaks to it. So
I think the bottle shape has a lot to say in it too. I know that's not what I'm rating, but the
Yeah.
whole thing goes into it.
Yeah.
It just looks like I said like an old bottle from the attic or something. You
Yeah.
really feel like you're in that the family whenever you have a bottle.
yeah, I'm not going to disagree with anything you rated tonight.
Well, I'm doing my job, I guess.
In the past, that's been an issue, but not tonight. So tonight, we're drinking these four. I've got mine all poured out, and I've got mine set up ABCD. Let's get started. Let's do we want to nose them all first?
I think
and then-
we just go through them one at a time like we normally do. I think we do
All right.
nose, palate, finish of A, and then move on from there.
All right, I've got my A.
Pouring mine right now.
And I have to be honest on this one. I do know which one is which at this point. Therefore, I'm going to let you two talk about it, and I'm just going to sip along with you guys and enjoy.
That works. I'm pouring all mine right now. Guess I should have done that earlier, but
I didn't pour mine until just a minute. For listeners, I don't know if this would make the edit or not, but we're recording like an hour and a half later than we usually do because of internet issues. And I was not going to pour these 4 if we weren't recording. Like, I was going to pour one of them and enjoy it for the evening if we weren't recording, but I wasn't going to pour all 4 unless we were actually doing this. So,
Yeah. Steven, what do you think?
I think this has a really light scent to it. It's very fruity. I smell like some raspberry, something like that. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
a little
picking up.
cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely fruity and very light. I tasted it a second ago.
I love it on the nose. I love this one on the nose.
It almost tastes exactly how I just described it smelling, which doesn't always happen.
Smells a little bit like the Four Roses did, Small Batch Select, on the nose, but it's a little lighter than that was. But overall, a similar profile to it. You just also get less of the heat, but it's a very nice long but not intense finish on this one too.
It's solid. I really enjoy this one. Good taste. I get sense of caramel.
caramel, oak, and vanilla, right?
Vanilla, yeah. Smells like whiskey.
You know, I feel
Yeah,
like
very light.
I feel like on each of these, I could probably say something like, "Boy, I could have this all the time," but the answer is no. You can't for any of them. But I'll say I like it a lot. I like A a lot
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, it's good. What do you think about it, Dan? Without giving it away.
I think it's an excellent pour. I'm not just saying that because they're all 4 excellent pours. Yeah, I think you guys hit it on the head as far as like the nose and the palate goes. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get me to say something negative about any of these 4, right? Like that's not going to happen. I'm excited to drink the next 3, mostly to be able to compare them to each other, right? Like, yeah, that's what I'll say about all 4 of them. So I'm gonna move
First one was
on.
really good. I don't think I've had it before. Well, I haven't had. I don't think 2 of these. So.
Oh yeah, that's something probably that the listeners and viewers should know. So the only one of these that Steven has ever had before is Antique 107. Namoff has had Antique 107. And by the way, Steven has only had Antique 107 on our show. So he had some when we... Oh, this is just the second time you've had it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had it on an episode previously when JT joined us, and then tonight. Namoff has had Antique 107 before, and he's had Weller Foolproof one time, but just one pour of it.
And I had the chance of buying a Buffalo Trace Kosher, and I was like, oh, I'll pick it up tomorrow. I didn't realize that it would be gone by tomorrow. So
they don't last.
I probably could have bought like 6 bottles if I wanted, but
yeah, they don't last at all.
Yeah, no.
So all right, moving on to B.
This one is very light on the nose in terms of I don't get much nose from it at all, honestly. Mm-hmm. Very subtle. A little bit of orange, maybe?
Yeah, I get a little bit of orange, too. A little more of an ethanol burn to it, too. It's definitely stronger in alcohol content than the last one. Plus, I'm fucking crazy, but I might be. Don't fuck with me. Yeah, I could down all these in like 2 seconds. That's my issue right now. That first one I could have just finished. I kind of want to savor it for a little while.
Are you only using one glass, Ryan?
No,
or do you
I
have...
got 4.
Okay.
I got 4 different glasses here.
Because I was going to say, I think you're going to want to go back and.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. Mix them all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to go back and kind of taste them after I figure out which one's which,
So having this one after A, I'll definitely have to go back like we were just saying. But going from A to B, I gotta say I prefer A way more.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot oakier. I feel like. Um, I'm trying not to compare it. I'm trying to just get a clean slate of it. It's hard after that last one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't. If that first one's the kosher wheat, that's going to be interesting because I'm definitely going to be looking for that bottle a lot more often.
Yeah, B
That one
so
was
far,
kind of decadent too, and yeah, this one's just
B is a little bit smoother, but I think the finish is a little more intense.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I actually agree with everything that you guys are both saying. Especially like I feel like so A popped a lot in my mouth, right? I was kept picking up a bunch of different flavors, spices and heat and like a good heat. And now having B, I worry that well, B is not popping. So I'm wondering if it's a problem with A covering up the flavors that I'm picking up on this one, or if it's that this is just not as good of a bourbon and doesn't have as many of those flavors to pop, you know?
Yeah.
But
I'm
this one
definitely getting
is,
some of that too.
I'm getting more sweetness from B. Like I find B to be sweeter smelling and tasting, but not as complex, not as long of a finish. Yeah,
See, I
that's.
find A way stronger. Now that this one's not sweet, a little sweeter, at least for me.
You think A is sweeter?
Yeah, like it's more of like a decadence to it. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
feel like.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ryan. I think I found A little sweeter, but I
Okay.
think B is much smoother. But I get more, like Ryan said, I get a little more oak, a little more baking spices for sure. Uh,
From
on
B?
B, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do we
Which
want
I get a
to?
little.
typically is weird because typically I prefer that kind of bourbon. I
Yeah.
think I prefer a little more baking spices, a little more oak, and but here having them side by side with one another, I think I lean A so far.
Okay. Do we want to move on to C?
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. I'm not getting much on the nose of this one.
Oof. The nose on this one is pretty harsh to me.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a higher proof.
Like harsh? Like as far
No,
as like
you could just tell with the finish how.
A lot of ethanol burn to the nose.
for you there is, Steven?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely get that more. I stick my nose down into it.
No, I don't like the flavor profile on this one at all. This one is very. I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. On the nose, man, it smells a little bit. Smells a little bit doughy. Smells a little bit like it could have like a higher wheat content to it. Some sort of grain is coming through. That's my first reaction to it. I think that it's um, the on the taste. It's just so the palate is vapid to me. It's there and gone really quick, and there's no real finish to speak of to me. I feel like whatever finish I've
Yeah.
got in my throat right now, it's from having 3 whiskeys in a row. It's not. It's not this particular one.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. I don't know if it's just messing me up these next two. You know, I really like day, but I don't know if it's clouding my vision or my taste a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a quick finish. It's really strong. I think it's probably the highest proof thing we've drank so far, which leads me to believe which one it is, but I won't say. What? That's just in my head. Just I'm not trying to like be an ad. You're shaking your head. It kicks you in the teeth a lot more than the other two have. So, you know, and one is a foolproof whiskey, so you don't have to give me a look like that.
See, I feel like it doesn't kick you in the teeth as much. I feel like I got kicked a little more by B, maybe. But I feel like C. There's just not a lot to it in any way. I'm gonna try it again.
Do you guys have any water or like a cracker you could eat?
Yeah, I've got water beside me.
I had some Ritz crackers. I don't know what the fuck I did with them. I got a water right here, though.
What the fuck could you have possibly done with Ritz crackers? What do you mean? You either ate them or you threw them away.
I think they got packed away somewhere. All right, I drank some water. Okay, the palate is cleansed.
I like. We probably should have done that whenever we drank B2.
I have been doing it for what it's worth.
Have you? Okay. Okay.
Water. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a cracker would be better. Like, if I'm being honest here, or a little piece of bread. As far as C goes, I get like a lot of cherry, personally, like cherry and fruit, and not as much spice as B, and not as much sweetness as I got from B either. But I get a lot of cherry and like stone fruits, right?
I was gonna say stone fruit, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I feel like I pick up more, like I said, wheat or something like that, for lack of a better. It's probably messing with me, the fact that we have the kosher in there, but I do feel like there is some. I feel like it has some qualities to it that the Wheater did with Spirits of French Lick. On the nose, but much lighter than that. Obviously, it hits you in the face with the Wheater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to move on to D?
Let's do it.
Very pleasant nose, similar to A. Very similar to A. I'm gonna smell A again, actually.
Definitely cherries.
Yeah, A has a little more like, apologies to Ryan, but a little more caramel and vanilla quality to the nose on A. But D goes even more with that fruity light smell than the first one did.
Yeah, get a little raspberries, little cherries.
Pick up a little marzipan.
Oh, shoot.
And
look at him.
The only reason I mention that is because that's one of like on the Glenlivet that I've got.
Yeah.
They say that's one of like the nose notes that you can pick up. And ever since I saw that, I was like, oh, so that's what marzipan is. I'll use that one day. And here, I think I pick up a little marzipan.
Okay. I can't stand marzipan, by the way. I cannot stand that shit.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Yeah, I don't even know it's a confection. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you, although I think
I feel like it's a little buttery too. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although the nose is comparable to A, I like A much better on the palate. That said, I like this on the palate better than C.
Yeah, this one's really good. It's between A and D for me, for sure.
Yeah.
That I like best, yeah. This is I usually don't like that like buttery texture, but it all kind of, the fruits and everything, it kind of goes down easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna savor that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to try A again. Figure out my shit.
Yep. Go back and forth, guys. Because now it's time to figure out. You got to put them in order. Favorite, second favorite, third least favorite. A through D.
I'm going D first, A second. Tough. DABC.
DABC for Ryan.
DABC. Dabka.
What about you, Steven?
Give me 1 second. I need to double check something.
He needs to drink a little more, you know.
I can't blame him.
Let's go. This is a good way to get drunk for sure.
Steven, just one more sip. One more sip.
If you, I want you guys to consider, look at each of your glasses and consider how much you've drank in 25 minutes. That's how you get drunk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go A, D, which is very closely. You know what? I've got to go A, B, D, C.
Okay.
A, B, D, C for me.
Steven, we're gonna need you to like put these on the screen, right? So like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. In post.
Yeah. When you're doing your little edit thing.
Also known as editing,
Yeah, also known as edit.
The editing.
So Ryan, you've got D-A-B-C.
BC. That's correct.
D-A-B-C. And
D-A-B-C.
Steven, you've got
A, B, D, C.
A-B-D-C. Okay. So which one is which?
What about you? I mean, are you?
I know which is which. It's not fair. I know which is which. It's not fair for me.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Right, I think D is Pappy 15. I think A is Kosher Wheat. I think B is Antique 107. I think C is Weller Foolproof.
Okay, Steven, what do you think?
I think Ryan is right that I think B is antique. I think that C is foolproof. I think that, but I switch with him. I think that D is kosher, and I think A is Pappy.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A, Antique 107.
Wow.
Wow.
B, kosher. C, Weller Foolproof. D, Pappy.
Okay. I got one right.
Wow.
Man.
So
A was Antique one. You said A was Antique 107?
Yep, Antique 107. Yeah. And so it goes Antique 107, kosher, Weller Foolproof, Pappy.
Man, I like 107 a lot more than Foolproof then.
Yeah. Steven, that finished last in yours, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
I almost went with A. I mean, I was struggling with it.
Yeah. You two were both back and forth between A and D. And now, to me, flavor profile, I do prefer Pappy's. Pappy's is, out of these four, Pappy's is number one. To me, Foolproof and Antique 107, you could switch them out, flip-flop them back and forth. I love both of them equally. To me, kosher is a very distant fourth place. Very distant. If I couldn't get the kosher at $40 or $45, I would not buy it. Plain and simple, I would not purchase it. Because at $40, I can easily find any day of the week Elijah Craig Small Batch. And Elijah Craig Small Batch, to me, has way more flavor, a way better nose, a way better palate, a way better finish in every way, shape, and form. To me, Elijah Craig Small Batch just kicks kosher wheat all over the place. the kosher wheat, it's fine. Yes, it's very smooth, but there's like no flavor to it. It's like drinking water.
That
Like,
which one was that? Was C again?
Uh, kosher.
B, I
No,
think.
kosher was B.
Kosher was B.
Yeah.
Kosher was B. Yeah, it's super smooth in the same way that other 80 proof things are, but this is at 94 proof, right? Like, I'm not trying to trash talk kosher here. It's fine. But like, if I can't get it at 40, I'm not interested in buying it because there's just not enough to it, right? There's not enough. It's not interesting. It's just smooth. And that's what it is, which is fine. But there are other things in that $40 price range that I would much prefer to buy that are equal to or better than kosher, than the kosher wheat recipe. But that's really interesting. Like, Steven, so you preferred the Antique 107 over, so...
Yeah, which I knew that Antique 107 was on my highest rate so far. I really liked it at the time, so I'm glad that it stands up to a lot of great whiskeys blind for me.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't. I know with the special reserve that ended up not being the case at all with Maker's 46. So I'm glad to see that my taste there held strong, and I really like the flavor profile. It makes sense to me that that's the case, but it really seems like Pappy would just be wasted on me. Like I am glad I didn't pour the whole thing. I'll just give it back to you, Dan. Obviously, you much prefer it to me. I really expected it was going to be my favorite. As soon as I tasted it and I loved it so much, I was like, oh, that's got to be the Pappy.
Mhm.
But here we are.
There you are. You just saved yourself $100
And I didn't even like the
at
foolproof.
SRP.
Yeah.
Yeah. It shocks me that you guys didn't like the foolproof. Like, I find foolproof to be like to me, Weller foolproof is like super interesting in that it's 114 proof, and I can like, and it's full of flavor, but it's still so smooth that, I mean, you guys have seen me chug it, right? Like, to just tip a bottle back because it's so smooth, even at 114 proof, that you can drink 3 ounces of it in one chug and it doesn't burn your throat. You don't want to throw up.
I feel like if that one was the first one we did, I probably would have liked it more. You know,
you think
just
so?
The first two yeah. I mean, I had the 107 and it was really, really good. Then the next two, it was just like, man, I like A lot. And I wasn't sure if it was Pappy. When I had D, I was pretty confident that was Pappy. But yeah, if that one was a little up in the order, I think it would have been a different story. Like, I haven't had Weller Foolproof either. That was the first time I've ever had it. So if it was a different circumstance, I'd probably appreciate it a little more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I mean, this. So the order of these was completely random, and I actually considered trying to like figure out whether it was smart to go like low proof to high proof to low proof, or just leave it random. And I figured in the end, it's best to just leave it random.
Another brother showing.
So it like it's a really, really low fee, but what it does is it like makes me considered part of Pennsylvania, if you will. So
Let me explain this in a way that Namoff will understand. It's tax fraud, okay?
it's not actually. So he gets
say no more.